Omolola had no idea that her journey to Igbo-Ayé, a remote Yoruba village, would thrust her into a nightmare. As an NYSC corper assigned to teach English, she was determined to make a difference in the lives of her students. But when virgin girls started dying under mysterious circumstances, Omolola uncovered a dark, ancient secret that would not only test her courage, but also threaten her own life. Omolola was welcomed with open arms when she first arrived. The village headmistress, Baba Tanimola, took her to her corpor's quarters, where she settled in with hope and optimism. She quickly bonded with her students, particularly the young girls, encouraging them to dream beyond the limitations of their village life. One of them, Bisi, a shy girl raised by her widowed father, Baba Tanimola, had stopped attending school. Deeply moved, Omolola convinced Baba Tanimola to let her return. Bisi's return brought joy to Omolola, but this was short-lived. Soon after, girls in the village began dying. The pattern was clear. They were all virgins, and a blood-stained white cloth was left behind at each scene. Rumors of men luring the girls with money for rituals spread like wildfire. The village became gripped by fear, and suspicion began to fall on Omolola. Her fellow corpers and even some teachers whispered that her arrival had brought misfortune. Despite the blame, Omolola refused to abandon her mission. Her concern for her students only grew, especially for Bisi, who she felt was vulnerable to the danger lurking in the village. The mystery deepened when Omolola overheard an old woman muttering about the curse of the stolen kingship. One evening, she sought out the village elder, Baba Tanimola, who revealed a shocking piece of history. Decades ago, a powerful king had been overthrown, and his lineage had been stripped of their right to rule. The deposed king's descendants believed they were cursed until the blood of 7 virgins was spilled to restore their lost throne. Omolola shuddered at the realization that the killings were no mere accidents. They were part of a sinister ritual. She began investigating on her own, speaking in hushed tones with villagers who might know more. Some were too afraid to talk, but an old midwife, Mama a Joke, finally whispered to her, "Baba Tanimola is not who he pretends to be. He has waited years for this moment." One morning, Bisi didn't come to school. Worried, Omolola visited her home. Baba Tanimola told her that Bisi had gone to visit a friend. Sensing something was wrong, Omolola decided to follow the path Bisi had taken. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Omolola heard muffled voices. She hid behind a tree and saw a terrifying sight. Bisi was tied to a stake, trembling with fear, while Madame Tanimola's husband, Baba Tanimola, chanted incantations. He was surrounded by his followers, holding a blood-stained white cloth. Omolola's heart raced as she pieced it together. Baba Tanimola had been killing virgins to complete a dark ritual. He needed 7 to achieve his goal of kingship. Bisi was the 6th. Omolola's gasp gave her away, and the men turned toward her. Well, Baba Tanimola sneered. "It seems the ancestors have delivered our 7th virgin." Before she could run, they captured her. Baba Tanimola explained his sinister motives. "This kingship was stolen from my lineage, and I will do whatever it takes to restore it. You, Omolola, will complete the sacrifice." Bound and terrified, Omolola watched as they prepared for the ritual. She fought back her fear and remembered the message she had sent to Inspector Adebanjo, a police officer she had met while filing a report about the disappearances. Just as Baba Tanimola raised his blade, the sound of sirens and shouts filled the forest. Inspector Adebanjo and his team stormed the site, guns drawn. A chaotic struggle ensued. Omolola managed to free herself and helped untie Bisi while the police subdued Baba Tanimola and his followers. The ritual was stopped, and the villagers were saved from further terror. The next morning, the village gathered to hear the news. Baba Tanimola's confession revealed everything: his greed for power, the rituals, and the lives he had taken. Madame Tanimola, humiliated and broken, resigned from her position and left the village in disgrace. The village elders held an emergency meeting and reinstated strict laws against ritual practices, vowing never to let such horror befall their people again. Though shaken, Omolola chose to stay and continue her service. The loss of the girls, especially Bisi's near-death experience, strengthened her resolve to protect and empower her students. The village, too, began to heal, with the tragic events serving as a harsh lesson on the dangers of greed and the importance of vigilance. Months passed, and Omolola worked tirelessly to build confidence in her students. She initiated discussions on personal safety, organized self-defense workshops, and collaborated with local authorities to implement stricter security measures. The girls began to walk taller, their fear replaced with newfound determination. She also formed an alliance with the village elders, ensuring that such darkness would never be allowed to rise again. A youth advocacy group was formed, with Omolola at the helm, spreading awareness and encouraging young girls to report any suspicious activities in the village. As Omolola prepared to leave Igbo-Ayé at the end of her service year, the villagers came together to bid her farewell. Baba Tanimola, with tears in his eyes, thanked her. "You saved my daughter, and you saved our community. We will never forget you." Baba Tanimola's former students, once afraid of her shadow, now sang songs of hope and freedom as they walked her to the village gate. Omolola left the village knowing she had made a lasting impact. She knew that stories like this happened far too often in hidden corners of the world, and she vowed to use her voice to shed light on them. Staying silent allows darkness to thrive, but through courage, education, and a shared responsibility to protect the vulnerable, we can overcome greed and exploitation, building a brighter and more just future. She carried the lessons of Igbo-Ayé with her, and as she boarded the bus back to the city, she knew her journey as a protector of the innocent was only just beginning. With a heart filled with resolve, Omolola decided she would dedicate her life to advocating for the rights of young girls, ensuring that no other community would fall victim to such horrors again.
Thank you, friends, for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Suzy Space for more stories.